So if there's a tea towel or something like that, just move that out of the way for the moment. Again, just a light spray across the front like that. And you want to go from top to bottom. Now when it comes to stoves, ovens and knobs, often these knobs can pull off. I don't think this one does, so I won't force it. But often they'll come off. You can get the knob off and get behind the knob and then clean the surface of the knob and put it back on. But don't force it like that. So you can see I had a go. It didn't easily come off, so I've left it. If that's the case, much like flossing toilets, you can floss things like knobs. You could just get your microfiber like so and just slide it behind and as best as you can. That's not going behind there now. Like so. You just want to pull that through and you can get, as you can see, stuff off there. Obviously this is a gas stove type, so when you're moving the knobs, put them back straight away so you don't gas yourself. That's obviously important. So again, this is one of the things that people often don't clean properly, especially people who call themselves cleaners. They tend to leave knobs half done. All right. So once you're satisfied that you've cleaned it, you can then go on to spot clean the drawers and the cupboards and dishwasher door, fridge door, etc. Once you've done that, you've only got the floors in the kitchen left to do. All right, so really all that's left now in the kitchen is to do the fridge and dishwasher door, spot clean down the cupboards and drawers here, and we're ready to move on to another part of the house. So usually on the fridge, it's the door handle. If they have a ice and water dispenser like this, this part is going to be the most grotty. Most of the time the rest of the door is usually pretty good, maybe a bit of dust. So you'll spray down the handles and that area, and you'll just look for finger marks especially, because that's the most common thing you're going to find, and give that a quick wipe. Now usually it doesn't require a lot of scrubbing, it's just people going to the fridge, they're not usually doing anything that's going to make it really dirty. Try not to press too many buttons when you do this, accidentally put water or ice onto the floor. Then if it beeps, stop for a second, make sure you haven't done something. Now often you'll get little trays like this. You can take that out and give that a bit of a wipe and wipe out the section in here. Now often, and this is the same as shower screens, if water dries in here, it can leave a calcium sort of deposit, which can actually be more of a stain, and you may not be able to get it off, which is the case here. So just get as much as the loose stuff as you can off, and then move on to the next bit. So next is the dishwasher door, and it's basically the same again. You're just really repeating yourself with the doors, etc. So again, like most things, where there's grooves and buttons, you can see sometimes there's a build-up in those grooves. Again, you can use the brush gently to dislodge it if you want to, or often just get your finger in there as best you can with the edge of the microfiber. And if that works, you're good to go. If not, get the brush, dislodge it, wipe over it, as in the sink. Try not to push the buttons in too much, just for wear and tear more than anything. And if you accidentally turn it on, turn it off again. Then, from there, all we have left now is to spot clean cupboards and drawers. So most often, it's the handles that are going to be dirty, or in front of the sink, it's quite common to have drips and spills. So that's probably the area that you want to pay the most attention to. In this kitchen, really, it's just a couple of marks around the handles here. Can't really see much else there. Again, similar to the light reflection we mentioned before on the bench, if you can angle yourself, sometimes the light reflecting off it will help you find bits that are dirty. Most often though, it's just one or two little spills that you're cleaning off. All right, so once you've finished that, you've basically finished. All you need to do now is replace anything that you've moved. So often in the sink, there'll be some cloths or something like that. You fold them up neatly and just sort of hang them over the center bit there. If you've moved a tea towel like we have here, you'll just replace it, hang it back where you found it just neatly. Often just fold it in half like that. Make sure any utensils, any appliances are more or less where you found them. Not millimeter perfect, but you don't want to put the toaster from there to over here. We want to leave it where we found it. Once you've done all that, you move on to the next section of the house. All that's left to do is the floors when we finish the rest of the house.